And so we begin this section devoted to Giuliani's 120 right-hand exercises. These are incredibly important and wonderful exercises for the development of the right hand speed and flexibility, agility, and so on and so forth. And I really believe that these, along with some Targa right hand exercises and a pretty healthy dose of studies, really makes playing guitar pieces and compositions much, much easier. And although I did a lot of these studies, most of them growing up in Buffalo when I was studying with my teacher, Jeremy Sparks. In fact, he would often assign 10 of them for me per week, and along with a couple other pieces that I was working on. And of course, at that age, 9, 10, 11 years old, I wanted to just work on my pieces. But often, if I didn't have those 10 exercises mastered, he would punish me a little bit by spending the entire lesson working only on Giuliani right-hand exercises and scales and other technical things. So, which was very good for me, a very good message for me. Otherwise, if I had had my way, I'd only be practicing pieces and would not have been able to help develop the technique that I needed to play those pieces. So anyway, here we go. Here's number one. I'm going to just do 2 exercises in this section, in this segment, number 1 and number 2. I think it's interesting that for a book of arpeggio studies, 120 of them, the first one is not an arpeggio at all. And it's actually one of the most important studies in the book. So do not skip this one. Number 1 is really just PIM together, played together, and it looks a little bit like this. So I want you to notice a couple things here in this first exercise. That my thumb, P, and index finger, I do not stop their forward progress. I've encountered this a lot with many students where they will try to stop the motion, the forward motion that their flexor muscle is doing in an effort, either consciously or subconsciously, to miss the other finger. I think it's much more that can potentially introduce a lot of right-hand tension. So I always encourage my students, and I would encourage you to really just let the natural path of the thumb stroke and the natural path of the eye stroke to just collide. Let them run right into each other. Like this. Also, in each of these right-hand studies, I would encourage you to first to practice them both with sequential planting and also with a free stroke that does not have any planting, or what I like to call a sweep free stroke. So you can even do that with this first exercise. It doesn't seem at first like you can, but you're just basically playing It sounds kind of funny, but it's a really good test to see the accuracy of your contact point. Again, the contact point is the point at which the string meets both your fingernail and your fingertip, and is really sort of the essence of your sound is where the contact point is, the point where the string meets those 2 spots simultaneously. And then perform the etude free of the planting, a free stroke that does not have any planting. If you're not familiar with sequential planting and of a free stroke and a free stroke that is a sweep stroke, like I like to call it, there's a video or a lesson on the difference of those two things. But we're going to basically, I'll demonstrate each of these studies with both of those strokes. The next one is number 2. And I'll first play this with sequential planting. Notice that in the sequential plant, that as the thumb plays, at the moment the thumb plays, simultaneously the I finger comes down and plants lightly on its string. So, like this. And then as I plays, as the I flexor executes the stroke, the M finger then simultaneously, but only in sequence. That's hence the title, or hence the term sequential planting. I'll demonstrate that once again a little bit slower. You'll see that even with the M stroke, the cycle repeats itself by the simultaneous action of the M stroke and the thumb plant. Like this. Then take that planting off, and then also practice the exercise with a sweep free stroke, or a sweep stroke, as I like to call it. As you perform the sweep stroke version of the exercise, try to feel the sequence of moves between P, I, and M, but the difference between that and sequential planting is that it's not quite as severe. You want to really use the sweep stroke as an opportunity to make your right hand feel as relaxed or empty of tension as possible.